Coaching by itself, I wasn't really so sure that that was exactly what I wanted to do. Anything that gets very much defined by a wider anything, I have a little bit of a
Which
rejection
is a lot of
kind
things
of a
in
thing
life,
to
right?
it.
Labels
Exactly.
and defined, categorized.
I was like, I don't know if this is for me exactly. What, though, then increasingly kept supporting the evidence almost, like, why not?
Right.
Why shouldn't I do this? Was I really wanted to help people get through some of the things where I could see in team members that I would manage or that were in my charge, so to speak, the potential for something that would really help them achieve their goal, their dream, what they wanted to. And there was something holding them back. I couldn't get to it sometimes. And when I heard there is this thing called coaching at the mindset level and targeted, I was like, okay, I want in on this. Now I'm committed. But it's really been a build-up, I would say, over life. I think one defining moment that came to mind was when my parents were in a part of their marriage that was really tough. Yeah. My mom had been taking care of her father for like 15 years or so, and then her mom. And she was so committed and loyal and dedicated to the care that she completely forgot herself in the process. Mm-hmm. And my dad saw that and was suffering for her because he's like, I don't know what else to do.
Happens a lot with caretakers, yeah.
It does. And they asked me at the time, I don't remember how old I was maybe in my 20s, if I could help them. And I was like, me help you? Like, what do you mean? And like, no, you're really good with that. So at first I was blown away, but it was the first time, and no less my parents, who really knew me, who trusted me with their relationship. And that felt like a really big deal. That felt like a really big deal at the time.
So that was sort of the impetus, that was the inspiration for you in the very beginning, huh?
Yes, it was one of those moments, I would say. It was one of those moments. And then later it really was more professionally related until I became a mom. And the kid grew up.
That's
and then
a
I was
whole
like,
other...
Now how do I mother, you know? It came from these different angles again and again and again. And once I learned it, I realized, there is a whole other level of skill honing that I had never really realized when I was leading people that could help me help them in ways that I never even imagined before. Something that a friend just shared this last week comes to mind first, which I thought captured it so beautifully and also in a very down-to-earth, real way. So she shared about one of the people that she was coaching, a young woman who was told at some point in, I don't know if it was a meeting or a conversation, well, you're really full of yourself, aren't you? And she walked away from that conversation and started thinking about it, and then shared with my friend as her coach and said, I thought about this and I was like, yeah, thank you, because who else would I be full of? And I thought it was such a nice way of capturing and reframing something that for many could be like an affront.
Right.
It's like, you're full of yourself. Like, who do you think you
like
are?
They're attacking you or criticizing.
And for her, just like, think about that for a moment. I'm full of myself. Yeah, that's a compliment. Thank you. I'm all of me right now, right? And I'm nobody else. And that's exactly who I'm meant to be. So for many people that I work with, they think they are there, right? So they think that they are. They just feel like there's something that gets in the way from not having to work 10 to 12-hour days anymore. Or just something they just want a little tool to help them increase the performance of their teams. Something's just feels too hard and it's complicated. And my mantra, maybe from experience and also really a lot from what I learned from my parents, is like, it has to be simple.
Right.
It has to be simple. If it's complicated, you're rushing, it's too
Yeah.
much going on,
Right.
and your orientation is to the outside.
Right.
So when you really want to get to know yourself, you got to go inside. I think it is exhausting mostly when I'm trying to hold some kind of a position somehow too. When I'm trying to do right by both. When I'm really able to stay in my own authentic power and best self, it isn't. Because then I can let go of the pleaser to both sides. The exhaustion comes when I'm trying to please both of those to some degree.
Right.
Well, one of the things I'd really want to play forward is the message that nobody has to try all that hard to be the best version of themselves. They gotta want to. That nobody can take away from them. But if they want to, it's easy, in a way. It's easy. We can now, with the approach being no longer, you don't have to go through year-long therapy and go to like the PhD necessarily. It's been distilled down and made accessible for us to say, start with these. Stop yourself when you notice it's not good, when you're not feeling good. Stop yourself. Stop. Don't just push through it.
Right.
Stop. Do a tactile exercise, which kind of engages the better side of yourself, and then go from there. Maybe ask yourself a question. So a month from now, a year from now, at the end of my life, looking back, what would seem important right now?